Jefferson Lerma. Welcome to the Back of the Net Big Match Preview. It's the Lerma Derby. Hello, happy Tuesday. My name's Sam.
I was happy. My name's Tom, by the way. You just maybe just felt it there.
Palace fans, if you're watching, right, this guy loves Jefferson Lerma. I think you've probably had more selfies with him than any other Bournemouth player.
Most of my family. I have had a lot of selfies with him. I've got a match-worn shirt from him. I've got a little birthday message from him. I've got stickers that someone that watched the channel made for me.
There's no need to be upset with Jefferson Lerma. Those stickers are going to happen.
I had him stuck on my wallet, if you remember, and then I ripped him off because I was upset. Not at him, but just the fact we lost him. I know that Palace fans that I spoke to quite like him, so I'm pleased he's doing well, but hopefully he has a night off, mate.
Hopefully. It's the Cherries versus the Eagles. It's at Selhurst Park. This is the preview, and you know what? It's going to be 30 minutes long, but it's going to be jam-packed with all sorts of opinion, information, trivia, and a lot more besides. Therefore, if you're an Eagles fan, then what you might want to do is subscribe to the channel. Definitely. Also hit the like. But why subscribe? Because afterwards we've got fan cams, haven't we? But also a special little upload the next morning where we give a raw diary of what happens.
Yeah, we've got a massive vlog that will come out and you'll be able to see everything from inside the stadium. Then after that, we've got to remember that there will be an away day show coming, and they struggled last year, didn't they?
God, they did bad.
They did bad. We had a bad experience last year, not just on the pitch, but off it, which you can go back and look at. Equally, you can see, let's see if they can do better this year. Let's see if they... I think there's been a few. I think Brighton done a little bit better than they did last year. We've got a whole new layout for the away day show, so keep an eye out for that as well. Click the little bell, it'll tell you when we do that. So
7:30 is the kick-off time tomorrow. It's live on Amazon and it promises to be a good one. Last time at Selhurst Park was not a good one. Here is what happened. I can't believe I got to play this. Play. Fucking hell of a strike. What a strike that was. Cutting from the right, top right hand corner. Oh man, oh man. Bad day at the office.
Yeah, it was quite easy or Eze for them, but
that's very good.
We were in that place where everyone has it, you're on the beach because you've just got safety and you think, and we were hopeless, but credit to Palace, they put us to the sword big time, and I thought, I mean, unfortunately, we'll talk about it when we get on the team news, but on that occasion, Eze absolutely destroyed us. I thought he was incredible, and we've had some tough ones at Selhurst, mate. We've had a good one as well, which I'm sure we'll go on to, but we've had some tough ones, and that was one of them. Probably one of the poorest displays of the season, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Here is the league table as it stands. So if you're watching this on match day, of course, we have not taken into account the games that have already been played. I like these Amazon sort of nights because you can pick and choose, you can use your app, you can use your TV, you can flick between them, they've got a goal show. And you get some 7:30s, you get some 8:15 kickoffs as well. However, was it at Crystal Palace we first went on Amazon?
I think we were the first Amazon game. And actually, you won't know this, this was well, I don't know if you remember, I come to yours, it was like the first time we done like a player ratings sort of show on the channel. And that was after we lost to Palace. I think it was Schlupp 1-0, and didn't they have Sacco sent off? And we played the whole game against 10 men and lost, and we were awful. But yeah, we have been on Amazon against Palace away before. So.
And also, we were the first game on the BBC, the first Premier League game ever to be televised on the BBC.
Were we?
During COVID. Do you remember that first game back where we lost 2-0 at our place?
Yes, Milivojevic scored a free kick. Can't remember got the second, but yeah, we lost that one. We were hopeless in that as well. This ain't good, is it?
It's not all been bad when we play Palace, Tom.
Why?
You and me. We sat on a sofa. I mean, yes, it was the Carabao Cup. Do you want to watch that again?
Yeah. That was brilliant.
Who's that? Oh, Sam Milivojevic. He never misses. I mean, I can't say his name, but he never misses a pen, does he? Never misses a pen.
same order as we had, of course, earlier at the original shootout.
Begovic going to turn into a hero, and after I just called him out. Cut
Begovic. Usual sidestep.
Come on, Begovic! Yes, what a keeper! I said to you, didn't I? I could always rely on Asmir Begovic. Oh my god, that's brilliant!
Asmir Begovic!
What a
Bloody
hero.
love that! Bloody love that, mate. The two keepers taking penalties.
That was a mental shootout, wasn't it? It went on for ages.
What was it
felt
like? God.
We had to go back to the start. I know that. Take him again, kind of thing. And Begovic was the hero, and that was one of the few kind of really enjoyable nights as when Tyndall was in charge in that horrible COVID Championship season. But we've had some weird ones at Palace. There's probably more I've been disappointed at Selhurst, but yeah, we've had some good ones as well.
Well, Roy Hodgson's side have been struggling this season at Selhurst Park. They've won one game. That was their 3-2 against Gary O'Neill's Wolves. They've had 2 goalless draws against Fulham and Nottingham Forest. And 2 out of their 3 defeats have been against fellow London clubs as well, against Arsenal and Spurs. The other defeat was against Everton. I think that was 3-2. So away from home, they've certainly done better. But we're playing them at Selhurst Park. Should we do the head-to-head nice and early for you?
Oh yeah, head-to-head.
This is where we're at. The W's, they're sprinkled in there, but yeah, the League Cup one, that 2-1 at home. I remember that was David Brooks won it, scoring that worldie. Stanislas having a late pen to win the game 2-1, but also at
Lerma was fouled for the penalty.
Yes, he was. Very good. Yeah. But also at their place, we have had a good night in the Premier League there, haven't we?
Oh, what a night that was. Pretty in pink we were that night. Oh, I remember that. I think it was Scott Down who always scored against us, scored header. Pewee scored a really nice goal, and then it was Benicophobe, wasn't it?
Yes.
With a goal in the second half. I remember that being a real pivotal night. I really enjoyed that one, midweek one at Selhurst, and for the only time I've seen us win there. But that was a really good night. It all stands out for me, that one.
I was watching that on TV, and I could have swore blind that Benicophobe, who managed to get onto a header, it looked like it was going wide. It's like, Bennett, get it, Benicophobe. So I was singing. Oh, Benicophobe in a negative way and in a positive way within the space of about 3 seconds, which has happened before at Millwall. Actually, do you remember at Millwall when we played them?
Yeah.
We were sort of singing his name, and then anyway, let's take a look at Palace's results. We're not going to go from the start of the season, but we'll maybe pick it up from October just to check out their latest form, mate. And this exemplifies how their home form has not been overly great, certainly of late, with a visit from Nottingham Forest at the on the 7th.
Yeah, and obviously the way Forest are going at the moment, you'd think, Palace should be winning that game at home. I didn't actually realise till you said then, mate, how much that they've been doing better away from home. They've kind of been consistently inconsistent, really, Palace in general. But 0-0 against Forest, not ideal at home. They obviously go to St James's and get beat. It can happen. They're a good side. The Tottenham one, losing by the odd goal to Tottenham's no mean feat. It is what it is at the moment. Really big win from Burnley, I felt. Because that was one where they could have really got dragged in. Fancied them against Everton. That was a surprise. Considering they draw 0-0, and then you think, they get 2 goals at home, they're going to win the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we know what it's like to concede 3 to Everton. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Luton one, they wouldn't have been happy with.
No.
And the West Ham point, I think they earned that point, obviously at the weekend, and I think they took advantage of a mistake, and Edouard finished, and he's still someone you've got to keep an eye on because he is a good finisher, and he's leading the line for them at the moment, doing okay. They've obviously had a few injuries, which I think has affected them, but big week for Palace, I think, because if they were to, say, lose both games or lose to us at home, they might start looking over their shoulder a little bit. I still think they're going to be fine. I think they'll have too much, but with teams like ourselves coming into a bit of form, they'll be thinking, right, just don't let Bournemouth beat us, because then we will start getting dragged in. So, being an intriguing night, mate, for both teams.
It's funny, I don't know what their long-term plan is, because certain clubs, you can see they've got a long-term manager, and that's usually exemplified by the manager that you've got in charge. And they had an ex-Gooner who was managing from for a while, but he found himself with a P45 and replaced by an ex-Palace manager, Roy Hodgson, who is 75, 76 years old. And with that, he brings a lot of experience, which perhaps goes without saying. He brings a steeliness.
Yeah, definitely.
But you just wonder, who's next? Where are they aiming for under Hodgson? It seems to be mid-table's okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But they're not a team that you would specifically think they're getting relegated, but that they'll be flirting with it. But equally, they're not a side that's going to be contesting for Europe either. So they're a side that seems to be happy at the moment, being between, I don't know, 11th and 16th or whatever.
No, I agree. I think it was the right call in the end last season, and Hodgson coming and listen, they ended up not being near the relegation. It worked. But then I just assumed, I don't know if Palace fans agreed, I thought, well, now they're obviously, that'll give them time to get someone in long term. And I just assumed they're going to this season with a new manager. Yeah. They obviously gave Roy the opportunity, which surprised me a little bit. And I think he will, like he did last season, he'll have enough in him to keep them up, and they'll be absolutely fine. But you're right, where's the long term? Because he ain't going to go on forever. I also was surprised that, I mean, I'm sure we'll go on to it a little bit more, but letting their main man...
You've read my mind, Tom. We're going to be doing that exactly now, having a look at the departures and the arrivals there. And look, let's start off with the departures and, the main man. Yeah,
the main man, Wilfried Zaha, obviously going for nothing. Which was kind of anticipated. It didn't shock me. I was a little bit surprised he went to Galatasaray actually, but thought he might go somewhere a little bit bigger in Europe or even in the Premier League. But they lost him. They always probably knew it was going to happen at some point. He was hitting 30 as well. But I know they've got some young players, but I thought they haven't really tried to replace him. Doesn't feel like it's just a little bit odd. And all the players they let go, I don't think they recouped any money in terms of a transfer fee. Because Milivojevic, Butland and Guaita, the goalkeepers, they all left the club, but they were all free transfers.
Yeah, did he go to Saudi, did he?
Yes, he did. I think he did. Did he go Saudi?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so it was a weird one in that sense, but then they have brought in a lot of younger players that they're obviously thinking, they're going to feel like new signings, because when you're talking about Elise, you're talking about obviously Eze, and a few other younger players like Rakzaki and Eboué that they've got on the books. So, yeah, they look, in that sense, they've got some young players that they're thinking about, but equally, once they let Zaha go, I thought, this would be interesting they bring in. And they didn't really, we all know they brought in Jefferson Lerma, from us, which was a bloody good signing from them on a free transfer. We all knew he was going to probably leave us because he wasn't going to sign a new deal. There's no disrespect, but I didn't expect Palace to get him. No. Thought he might go abroad, if not.
Oh, I'll tell you did.
Yeah, put it up.
Are we going to get Jefferson Lerma to stay or what?
Hopefully. I don't think he will though.
He was one of our standout players. It'd be disappointing if he did go, but what, do you not feel confident about him being at Dean Court next season?
No.
Where do you think he's going to go? Do you think he's going to go abroad or to another Premier League club?
I think Palace.
What? You're kidding me?
I think he'll go here.
Seriously, why? What? Have you got some inside information?
I don't know.
I really hope that's not the case, mate. How on earth? How do you know that? That was during the fan camps after our Saturday afternoon loss there, and it was a bad loss, as we know. But how did you know that?
Yeah, that was a surprise.
That is left field, but right. What?
But I spoke to Palace fans when they got him, because obviously they just want a little bit more info, and I said, you'll love him. And I think it was after game 1, I had a message saying, wow. Because we all know what Lerma gives, whether he's all energy in midfield, just winning tackles, he can sit a bit deeper. He's a top player. So it was a big signing for them. So I'm sure they're all happy with that one. Rob Holding was a bit of a surprising one. I know he's injured at the moment, but kind of a backup defender. You go, okay, didn't cost you much money. Obviously Henderson's out at the moment, but it doesn't really matter because Johnson's doing one in goal for him. And they brought in Franco for a bit of cash because he's obviously a younger player, as we're saying, that they're maybe looking to for the future. But yeah, not a great deal of ins and outs really, and changing too much. They're kind of still as you expect Palace to be. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they do much in January, if they feel they need to, if Hodgson, if they do lose a few games, will they panic a little bit? I'm not sure, because you'd only look to bring in a similar type manager to keep you up. So there might be stuff happening behind the scenes, thinking long term, but it's what it is at the moment. They'll be absolutely fine.
So what about from a Crystal Palace point of view? We got a 5-minute chat with D from the channel Back of the Nest. So confusing. Here's what he said. D, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Actually, I'm not. I'm so used to saying I'm doing good. Actually, I'm not. With Palace, it's not that great, but look, thank you for having me on.
Talk to me about your season then. You come across fairly disappointed.
Yeah, it has been disappointing. Especially the last few weeks, to be fair. We faced Luton, Everton. West Ham's, of course, more of a difficult game than, well, you can make the argument Everton's been on form, but out of Everton and Luton. But we haven't really been that great in terms of performances. The results haven't been there. And it's back to usual ways with Palace in terms of what are we doing as a football club. Roy Hodgson's back. Some people are blaming the board for not backing him enough. Some people are saying that he should be doing more, and why is he always repetitive with his approach? So it's a bit all over the place. It's burning. Palace is burning from the inside. But it's like, if you ask different fans, they might say the problem is on the owners. Some might say it's on the manager. Others might say it's on the players. But I'll be honest, right now it's the perfect time to play Palace. If I was Bournemouth, I'll be looking forward to this game because we just hit a hurdle recently, and with the fans, I mean, we're not really looking forward to any type of game, especially me anyways. It feels like the season is pretty much done and dusted now. And the case now is, if we do lose against Bournemouth, could there be a possibility of Roy getting added pressure and getting the sack? I mean, that's where we're at with Palace right now.
I mean, home form's not particularly been great, has it? I mean, we've sort of analysed your season so far on our show, and that's why I think a lot of Bournemouth fans are maybe having a bit of confidence, and especially with our upturn of form recently. But what's the long-term plan with Palace? I swear I've asked you this question before, but is it Roy, or surely at some point you're gonna have to get someone else in who wants to maybe take you to that next level?
Yeah, well, I think the current plan for this season anyways was to bring in Roy for one season and then afterwards go a different way. But in honesty, it's hard to say what our plan is. The club are trying to sell a plan in terms of, we want to build a new stand, which got announced 6 years ago today on this date, and so nothing has...
Oh yeah, I've seen pictures of it actually. Yeah, that's good.
And nothing has progressed yet. Actually, there has been progression, but nothing has officially started as of yet. And this was sold about 6 years ago. So we've got that excuse from the owners that we want to be more sustainable. I understand that, of course. But the conflicting side is, as a fan, when you're in the Premier League for about 10 years without sounding too spoiled, finishing mid-table every single season gets a bit tedious and boring. It's like, what is objective? I get it. We were trying to stay up in the Premier League, but now it's time to push on. But we're not really matching them ambitions in the transfer market in terms of the spending and backing the manager, even the manager himself, because Roy is a short-term project. You don't really see managers out there. Maybe they might not survive the full 3 to 4 years, but you don't see managers out there that come to a club for only a season. So it's all short-term right now. And that's what frustrates a lot of Palace fans, because you want to see a project. And we saw a project under Vieira. Fine, it didn't, go accordingly. But that was exciting. Even when we lost games, we were looking forward to the next game because we were playing a particular type of football. We know that what we're trying to do. And right now, it seems like we're just trying to stay up or finish mid-table. Yeah. And the fans are just literally, they've had enough. They're like, enough is enough. Like, if you can't back us, if you can't take us to the next level, then we want to see someone that can. And that's where we're at. And some people are saying, no, we're happy with the owners. So it's a bit, as I said, it's toxic.
How's Jeff doing? Jefferson Lerma.
A lot
of Bournemouth fans love him. How's he settled in?
I'll be honest, he's been a positive. So far this season. He's very good. Even against West Ham, pushing forward, just putting his body on line and putting 100% effort week in, week out. He's been one of our best signings so far this season. He had a bit of an injury a few weeks ago. He came back now. He's looking stronger. Doesn't look out of place as well. And he's been very good for us. For free transfer, I mean, you can't ask for any more because he's got all the talent and he's been showing it.
And which, I mean, I know you got injuries at the moment, which, a major injury within your side. But, in terms of players you think will be starting, who should we be keeping our eye on as, Bournemouth fans who are interested in, the danger man for Palace?
It's interesting because I want to say 2 players. Edouard has actually been decent in front of goal. He scored, I think, 6 goals in now 13 games, which for Palace side that doesn't create that many chances is pretty impressive. And still some Palace fans don't believe in him. But I think the main man that you need to stop is, now that we've got Eze out injured, is Michael Elise. He's come back from the injury. He looked, special as well. But the thing is it's easier now to mark out Elise because we haven't got any other real creative outlet. So you can put 2 to 3 players on Elise's, and that's what's been the case even against West Ham, where he had a decent game, but you could see that he was the main target that they tried to stop, and they did it well. And we got a goal from literally a West Ham mistake. So I think Michael Elise is the real one to look at. And if you stop Michael Elise, I think you stop pretty much Palace's attack.
Yeah. Do you think, I mean, Bournemouth fans are starting to think it now, not necessarily at the start of the season, but we've always looked at the table. We've been thinking there's 3 worse teams, we'll be all right.
Yeah.
Not so much now. Hopefully, with the sort of recent run of results, we're looking up rather than down. But I think, you know, Palace have, to me, never been a club that's going to be in danger this season.
Yeah, I think that's the case as well. Look, there might be certain points of the season, to be fair, after Bournemouth, where we might struggle to pick up more points because of the fixtures that we got. But the problem is not that Roy Hodgson can't get any results. It's the fact that it's way too inconsistent. It's too predictable, and you know what to expect, really. And I think we'll do enough to stay up, because I do agree that there are teams worse than us, even though Luton, they've been performing well recently, but, you know, they're just slowly trying to pick up more points. Funny enough, they picked up the first home win of the season against us, typical Palace. But yeah, I think we should be okay to stay up this year. But then again, I don't want to be having these conversations. I'm not trying to, but after 10 years in the Premier League, you want to look up rather than down. This year, I mean, it's still not out of the possibility, but the club said, and also the manager said, that top 10 should be the aim. But right now, we're talking about, can Palace stay up again? And it's like, why? I mean, how on earth are we here? Well, I do know how we're here. It's because we didn't back the manager enough, and that's the most annoying thing about it.
Go on then, mate. What's your prediction for the game?
Honestly, it's very hard to call. I'm going to go for, I could see it being like a 0-0 or 1-0. I said 1-0 against West Ham for our actual preview. I changed my scores quite a few times before the game, but I'm going to stick with, I want to say 0-0, but I'm going to stick with 1-0 again. A draw at home probably isn't good enough for Palace. I don't know, as Bournemouth fans, if you would be happy with that, because personally, I would be looking at Palace a team to beat, even though, you know, we've got some decent players. So yeah, I'm going to go for 1-0. I don't think it's enough for us, with all due respect to Bournemouth, because we just need a win. After this, we've got the likes of Liverpool, the Cities, and all them teams. So this is our last game, and I don't think we'll get the job done.
Interesting. I would take that. D from Back of the Nest, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me on.
Yes, interesting to hear what he thinks from a Palace perspective. Right, in terms of players that are available, D alluded to it. Then, they haven't got everyone that they would want in, and notable absences, you would say as well.
Eberechi Eze looks like he's going to be out, which is obviously massive. Obviously, I want him to come back soon, because I think he can challenge in them last couple of friendlies for England and maybe try and get himself on the play. Whether he will or not, he's got a lot of competition in that role with Bellingham, Maddison, etc. But he's a top player. We saw that. We spoke about it from last season. So, big loss for him. I also think Decore has been out for a little bit, is a big loss as well, because him and Lerma would have been a really good shield. So, yeah, they are missing him. Obviously, a couple of backup players as well. But you've got to say, at the moment, that Elise's back, scored a wonder goal against Luton when he came back.
Oh, my God, what a good goal.
And he's a bloody good player. Really, really good player. I remember in the Championship thinking, wow, when I saw him for Reading. A really, really good player, so a really good signing for him. And he's going to be one to watch a little bit, because if Palace fans don't know, he'll probably play off that right side, and we're without Lloyd Kelly, who's been good for us at left back, so it'll be a big test for probably Milos Kerkez for us, as long as he's back from his kind of cramp that he had against Villa, which I'm sure he'll be fine. Well,
Andoni Iraola had his presser earlier, and he's all right. Yeah, it's all good. Apart from that, I mean, not much really new to report. Obviously, the amount of work that players like Christie and Cook, Semenyo Solanke, Tavernier were doing, you sort of wonder, are they going to be all right? But they came off relatively unscathed. So, yeah, we are all good, which is excellent for us.
It is.
Do you want to know who the referee is, mate?
Not really.
It's Craig Pawson.
What does that mean?
Oh, he had a game where you could say that was Pawson. Oh, well, it was Man City. It was a Man City 6-1. I mean, there weren't any controversial decisions during that, though. I don't think, were there? No. So
is that the only game he's done for us this season, though?
Yeah, only game we've done from this season. Right, let's do teams. Yeah, do you want to? Let's do.
All right.
Okay, here we go then. Let's start then with Crystal Palace, shall we then, mate?
I think this is because I've been doing all right lately, haven't I, with the old teams?
You have.
But I think this is really difficult now because of the busy schedule. I think there'll be rotations and a few surprises. So I don't expect myself to do too well here. But
hang on, hold your horses a sec. Didn't you get a DM from a Sheffield United fan the other day?
I did, yeah. Just saying that he subscribed for our game against them, like the channel and stuff, and said, But mate, you got our team bang on, and you said 3-1 Bournemouth, and then the week after you got the Bournemouth team bang on, and you said 2-2 against Villa, and then you said that Heckingbottom's going to go on Monday, which did. He said, "Can you give me some positive news for the game at Anfield?" And I said, "You lose 3-0." But yeah, that was a nice touch. So yeah, I'm on a little bit of a roll as well with Bournemouth. I'm on a little bit of a roll, but yeah, I think it's going to be tough going into Palace. They'll continue with that kind of 4-3-3. I would have thought. Sam Johnson will be in goal, definitely. The change I'm gonna make just because I thought I want to do a change. I'm looking at their team and I'm thinking ex-Bournemouth fullback Joel Ward has been playing at right back and normally always plays at right back. I think he's 34 now. I'm just thinking they've got a decent understudy. Maybe they'll bring him out. Yeah. And the understudy is also an ex-Bournemouth right back, Nathaniel Klein.
Yeah.
I think Klein might just come in for Ward. There's no real reason for that other than he's 34 and they're going to rotate a little bit. So I'm going to bring Klein in there. I think the centre halves are very underrated, by the way. Joachim Anderson and Mark Gahey, who will be on the plane, by the way. I think he's brilliant.
He's good.
Yeah, I think they're two good centre halves. I think they'll stay in there. And Mitchell as well, good left back, will be in there. Midfield 3. Jefferson Lerma will be in there. He'll be in there with Will Hughes probably, I think, at the moment. And I'm going to go with Chris Edwards, because he's come into the side a little bit deeper because obviously of Decore's injury. I know he's been doing all right for him and I think they're liking him in that role. So I'm going to go with them as the 3. Elise off that right-hand side, as we say. Yeah. Ayew, who still always causes problems from that left side. And then Edouard, I reckon, will lead the line. They've got Mateta as well, but who's a bit of a unit. But I think Edouard, coming off the back of a goal as well, I think he'll start through the middle.
Okay, and for Bournemouth?
Yeah, you want to just go unchanged the way we're playing at the moment. I'm going to make one in there.
Okay.
As I say, because of the schedule. Sticking with, obviously, Neto in goal. We're going to continue with that 4-2-3-1. So, back 4 kind of speaks for itself at the moment with the injuries to Aarons and Kelly. So, I think it'll be from right to left. Smith, Zabani, Senesi and Kirkes.
Can you slow down a little bit? Because I've got to type this in right now.
Yeah, I really want to go quicker now. Yeah,
slow it down. Okay, right.
Yeah, well, in the middle, Lewis Cook, and speaking of slowing down, this boy ain't at the moment. Ryan Christie's going to be next to him. The engine room. The change I'm going to make feels harsh, but I just think we're going to have to rotate in this period. I think Billing might come back in and he'll take out Justin Kluivert just for this one, just to see how he gets on in there, because I don't think Billing did anything wrong. He just picked up a knock, didn't he? And then Kluivert's done really well. So yeah, I'm going to go Billing in there, because I just don't see how you can leave out Marcus Tavernier off that right, Antoine Semenyo off that left, and Dominic Solanke through the middle. So that's how I'm going to go, make one change for both sides from the weekend. But yeah, as I say, it wouldn't surprise me if there are surprises because of the busy schedule. But yeah, we'll see. I'd be happy with that team, and and that's how I'm going to go, mate.
Palace have got a knack of stopping teams playing, though.
They have.
And we've never really performed against them in the Premier League, apart from those isolated matches. And this is what worries me. But we're going into the game actually for once, Palace fans, just to let you into our psyche at the moment. We're actually excited about playing you, because we're excited about the football that we're watching that we couldn't say many times last season. And it is exciting, isn't it? But I just wonder whether we'll be able to break them down. I don't know. At Villa, we expected the kind of harem scarum game that it was. At this, I don't think it's going to be quite like that. I think it's going to be more tactical, and
we might have a little bit more of the ball potentially than we've had. I think.
Intrigued to see how it goes.
Yeah, no, I am, mate. I think I agree with what you're saying. Obviously, we played really well against Villa, but they do come out. We beat Newcastle, but they do come out. But what we'll say is, we went to Sheffield United, who didn't, and we actually got the job done there. So yeah, we're in a good place at the moment, albeit knowing that going to Selhurst is a really, really difficult game, and it's a shame, because if we'd hung on against Villa, I think I would have taken a point, because I'd go, we've just beaten Villa, go to Selhurst, get a point, that's a great point. Now I feel like, no, we want to try and win this game if we can. It's going to be a difficult one, mate, it really is.
Their team, they do sit back, but then they counter at pace with the attackers that they've got. So,
and it's a big game for them. Yeah, it's a big game for them. I think it's going to be a tricky one, but yeah, Palace fans, I don't know, we're in a good place now. I think we've got 10 points from 15 available, and a few of them games against top sides. In them, I think it's the last 5, we've only lost to Man City, and we've played Newcastle, we've played Aston Villa. So yeah, we're in a good place at the moment. So hopefully we can kick on. But yeah, as I say, knowing that you never go to Selhurst and have an easy one.
Yeah. Right. What are your predictions? Tom's going to concoct his in his head. In the meantime, I'm going to ask you for yours. See that line just underneath this video? Whether you're watching on your phone or you're on your laptop, whatever, just put a score prediction. By the way, so many people got it right in the last game. Leanne did on the vlog. Also, there were a number of others that did as well. And I mean, I went for 2-1, so I was right up to a certain point as well. So yeah, sorry, did you get it right as well?
Yeah, and I also got the Sheffield United one right the week prior. So I'm 2 in a row. I'm back to back on predictions. So everyone now watching this, by the way, going, get the Toms because that's what happens.
Go on then.
Going to go for Crystal Palace 1.
Yeah.
AFC Bournemouth 2. Come on. I believe it's going to be another midweek Selhurst 2-1 win. We're going to go behind like we did when we beat them 2-1.
Don't want that.
Yeah, I know. But we're going to go behind and we're going to think, oh no, what's going on there? But we're going to come back. I'm going to keep calling it until it happens. Sinistera off the bench with a goal again, but this time he's going to get the winner. Solanke and Sinistera 2-1 win.
I've just had a score pop into my head, mate.
Yeah,
I just had a score pop into my
Go
head.
on.
I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I, for one, think that Bournemouth are going to win 3-1.
You always... Oh. Okay, I still a little bit over the top. But yeah, we'll take it.
Fuck it, 4-1. That's it. That's what I'm going for.
You do this all the time. Didn't you say against City, you never know? Oh, come on. But you called them beating Newcastle, didn't you? Which was a big shout from you. So
and look, I was right with my text to you in the week
you weren't.
about Villa up until the 89th minute and 58 seconds.
So you weren't right.
I mean...
what did I say? Right. I've said this to you in person, I believe, so you can back me here or be a knobhead and say I didn't say it.
It didn't say it.
Before the Villa game...
It didn't say it.
Before the Villa game, I said to you...
What'd you say?
I don't think we'll beat Villa at home. I think Villa are a better side than we appreciate. But I think we're going to have a good week on the road and it will start with a win against Palace.
Isn't it weird, speaking of that Villa game, isn't it weird that whatever happens in this game will determine now our thoughts on the Villa game?
Yes. If we beat Palace, we'll go, what a point. But if we lose, we'll go, why didn't we hang on against Villa? I know, it's the way football works. You're never as good as your last result, are you? So, let's see what happens, mate. But we're going into it confident, but I think we all have got to be a little bit... We're all going, we just don't want against Villa. We beat Newcastle. We'll beat Palace. Palace are a good side. Yes, they're a bit sticky bit of form like we were at the start of the season, but at Selhurst, it's tough to win. I know they've not been as good this season, but we haven't got a brilliant record there as we saw. So any win will do. But if we have to go out there and get a point, we get a point. I think, away from home, every point's vital, mate.
Any win will do.
Of course.
Right, okay, if you haven't already and you appreciate our work, then the like button it'd be great if you could turn that blue and then the subscribe button as well. Make sure that's not red anymore and turn it to grey or whatever it is. And click the bell. Really appreciate it. Coming up, fan cams, vlog, away day review, and then we're into our Man United content, mate.
Oh, yeah.
The content never stops. Might even, to our Telegram group, upload a little video from the development game on Tuesday night as well.
Oh, yeah. We love football, don't we? I love football now.
AFCBpodcast.com/support if you can support us financially. We truly appreciate it. Up the Cherries. See you at Selhurst. Come
on! Hi, Jeff.
Jefferson.
He's watching. I reckon he's watching.
Very happy.
Oh, I'm going to get my Columbia shirt on. I reckon it'll be poetic that Sinistera, Colombian. We'll be going there thinking about a Colombian and we'll come out thinking about another Colombian. Telling you.